Now we're almost done with our spaceship. All we have to do is connect the cowl of the spaceship to the body. And you can see that we still have a little bit of a gap between the two. Now we could do the same method we used for the tail, which is take a curve on surface and use that as the basis for a loft. But I'm actually going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to use what's called a fillet. And that's just one more method that you can use. So in order to connect this to this, I need to project a curve onto the surface or draw a curve on this surface here. So I'm going to go ahead and extract a curve from the cowl. So I'm going to right-click above it, go into isoparm, and then drag out that curve and extract it. Edit curves, duplicate surface curve. So now I have this curve here, and I can use that to project that onto the surface. So I will do that in the top view. But before I do that, I actually want this outline to be a little bit wider. If I project straight down, I'm going to get a right angle connection to that surface, and that's not what I want. So I want to scale up this curve. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scale tool. And I'm going to scale this up. Now, when you create this curve, it creates the pivot point at the origin. If you want, you can do modify center pivot to get it a little bit more in a logical place here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just position this so that it's around this outline. So now I've got three rings here. I've got this outline, and then the outline for the projected curve. And you can see this in my viewport here. And when I scaled it up, I also lifted it up just a little bit here. But that doesn't really matter because we're projecting. So I'm going to go back into my top viewport, keep this curve selected, shift select the body of the spaceship, and go Edit NURBS, Project Curve on Surface. So now this curve is on this surface. So I can delete my originating curve here, and this will now be locked onto that surface. And I can use this as the basis for what's called a fillet. So the fillet tool is very interesting in the way that it works. You don't have to select anything before you start it. So if I go Edit NURBS, Surface Fillet, and the one I'm going to use is called Fillet Blend. So it prompts me here at the bottom. It says select one curve for the left edge, which is going to be that, and then you hit Enter. Then you hit the second curve, which is going to be the bottom of that cowl, and hit Enter. And now we have a surface that does not look right. Well, the one thing about this Fillet Blend tool is that it may accidentally reverse your curves. And so we can fix this very easily by keeping it selected and going into the attribute editor. Now we have all sorts of options here for this. Flip off auto normal and reverse right. And there we go. So now this is a very smooth blend from the cowl to the surface. Now we also have some other options here on the fillet blend. We can actually create a different start and stop point, so we can basically peel this open if we want. Kind of nice, but I'm going to leave it all at the default here. And now we have this third surface, which connects the cowl to the body of the spaceship. So as you can see, we've got a very nice little spaceship here. And curves on surface have been very important to the construction of this. We've used it for the trim for the window, we've used it to connect different parts together, and so on. And this is a very powerful tool in NURBS. So as you start to edit your surfaces, start to use curves on surface.